think it's about time we had a serious talk about the future of the channel. Hey everybody, welcome back to Tommy's Tesla Tech and Travel. Well, for now. I thought it'd be nice to take the time to talk about a couple of changes possibly coming, well, that are definitely coming, and a couple possible new directions to go in. We've definitely had a lot going on recently. This is our really busy time of year for both my wife and I, professionally and just family-wise. Obviously, it's the holiday times. Now I gotta decide what's happening in this new year. Well, you know what? Let me get cleaned up a little bit and we'll talk about it some more. Side note, Henry just had his school holiday program and I was so proud of him because he kept telling me how scared he was to do it, that he didn't want to be on stage, and he went ahead and did it. He was very brave, and now he said it wasn't as scary as he thought. To be fair, he spent the whole time just standing there where everyone else was singing and, well, looking for gold. But he did it, and that's what counts. I'm super, super proud of him. A lot of flair happening. J.J. Abrams, eat your heart out. Something I find kind of amusing and funny. I finally filed an LLC because if I ever start to incorporate anything I'm doing as far as the YouTube stuff and social media, you know, I want to have my own business entity for it. Well, I feel official now. None of the paperwork matters. I just got a Uline catalog sent to me under my business name. It's pretty funny. In part of today's video, we're going to talk about something a little new. Here is a hint. Ah, that's a whole lot better. I'm actually dressed and showered and clean. What about you, Charlie? Yeah. You too, and I appreciate that. Sometimes it's a struggle with young kids to convince them they need to take a shower. Huh, Charlie? Yeah. Well, like I said, there's some changes coming. You just saw a preview of that change with one of Charlie's toys I showed you. I've decided I am going to put down the deposit for the Rivian R2 today. I actually had started doing the process a couple weeks ago, but then just kind of changed my mind and want to think about it more. And I just think it's time for some changes like that with the channel. I love my Model Y. I love my Model 3. But I also think that the technology and the things I loved about the Tesla initially have really run their course. There's been a lot of changes that have happened recently, like they finally got the app on the watch where I can control it with that. And I don't know, my big thing that kept me driving a Tesla, not so much the tech portion of it, which I do appreciate and love, but the fact it had such a great charging network that we could drive anywhere in the country. But now, charging networks like Electrify America and EVgo, they're most every place that Tesla is now as well. And with the Rivian, I can do the cross charging where I can actually charge a Rivian using the Tesla superchargers. So there's really nothing holding me to the Tesla at this point. And like I've said in a previous video, I don't usually judge a company based on leadership because a leader's personal opinions and actions don't reflect the overall, company itself. But in this case, I just don't like a lot of the directions that Elon Musk is going in, both with Tesla, SpaceX, and everything else. And especially where he's getting involved in now, where he probably shouldn't be involved in. So I think we're going to be looking at different devices. But that begs the question, Charlie, should we change the channel's name? No? You like Tommy's Tesla Tech and Travel? But what if we don't have Teslas anymore? Ah, that's the conundrum. Well, slight change of plans. The boys decided they did not want to hang out with me today after school because I'm boring. Because all we do is go to stores. Joke's on them, we were going Christmas shopping. But back to the topic at hand. The direction that the channel's going in now, and forgive me for not having a lot of content, like I said recently, because of how busy we've been with work and family stuff, health stuff, all that. It's been interesting to say the least. But as far as the direction of the channel is, I've been finding a lot of fun and a lot of success doing a lot of my comic book stuff. I shouldn't say success. It's been fun and successful to me in as much as very fulfilling. And we are going to be traveling to new places this year because we are not going to renew our Disney passes. So you're not going to see us going to Disneyland as much, if at all, this next year. Now we're trying to figure out when and where to go for certain trips coming this year. The other thing is I've kind of strayed away from doing a lot of tech stuff. I'd like to get back into that because I love doing tech things. And I'm a tech weenie for all intents and purposes. Do I know all the correct terminology? No. But I'm also the everyman, I guess you could say, in that regard, because if I see something that sounds cool, I usually dive in not knowing a whole lot, and I actually will start to play with it. I mean, perfect example is the DJI camera here. And yes, I'm saying DJI. I just have a little accent sometimes when I speak. So I've had a few people reach out to me. It's not DJI. No, it's DJI. But when I say it fast, it kind of sounds like a G. And I've learned this camera so well that it's my favorite go-to camera now. It's all I use for the most part. But I still make rookie mistakes. For example, on my son's Christmas concert yesterday. Got there, had the camera, because I'm not recording it for the channel, I was recording it for us. Got it, turned on my camera, and no SD card. It's like the 4th time I've done that in the past like month and a half, where I've gone to record something and no SD card. It happens. So I use my phone. So thank God for high quality phones now. So now we're gonna stop by a couple other stores, running our errands and all that. But when we come back, we're gonna talk about the Rivian. Because like I said, one of the big changes is I think we're getting rid of our Teslas. We tried to get rid of my wife's about a month ago, but the car we decided we were going to purchase, by the time I got to the dealership, because they weren't holding anything, it had already been sold. Ah well. So that one's still on the table, but I think I want to get the order in for the Rivian. I just got to do some research now, and that's where this will come in later, to see if I'm able to trade in this car for it. Ah well. Next step, Rivian time. But before we do any of that, let's get some lunch. I am starving. Went to Home Depot to pick up some things, and now we're gonna try a new spot. Little place called the Taco Spot. Looks like it's a chain place, but it's new to Tucson, so let's give it a whirl. Because this was supposed to be a churro spot, but that place never opened. Now it's a taco spot, and I can go over some tacos. So I know I really shouldn't be eating this, but my blood sugar is really low, and it smells really good, and it was right here. Why not give it a whirl and try it once? First up, the Bahia ramen. Definitely Tapatio flavored, which is my favorite hot sauce, full commercial hot sauce. Pretty good. I didn't eat any meat though. Let's try some of that meat. Solid for a chain. And now the taco. And on the actual like burrito to dip it in, so we're gonna use our ramen. Taco's good. So that was okay. I mean, it's probably a one and done for me, but the tacos were actually really good. The Bahia ramen was just Tapatio ramen with their meat inside. It was good, nothing to call them about, but the tacos were actually really good. But I'm in Tucson. I wouldn't just settle for those tacos all the time. Let's be honest. Last minute gift shopping. I swear I'm gonna get these kids into sports if it kills me. Realistically, if they never get into sports, I'll live. But it does break my heart a little because I'm such a sports guy. In addition to being a nerd and a huge fan of technology, which is why I did go ahead and book the Rivian R2 today. It's just a reservation for $100 that basically allows me the opportunity to reserve one for myself when it officially comes out in 2026. As of right now, the price point is about $45,000, which is not far off from what my Model Y cost. So let's take a minute and talk about the pros and cons of why I've decided to go with the Rivian R2. Well, at least attempt to go with it, because it is not set in stone. The deposit I put down is fully refundable if I do change my mind. I did go ahead and create the account and everything else today that I would need for the actual Rivian vehicle when I were to take ownership of it. However, I'm still not 100% set in stone, but all I know is I really do like it. When I went to the Old Man Comic-Con about a month ago or so, I actually went to the Rivian shop there in Scottsdale, Arizona, so I can actually see an R1S and an R1T up close. I wasn't too terribly impressed with the R1T, but I did really like the R1S. It's just at a price tag of around $100,000, that is well out of my price range. Even the $45,000 that this one cost is roughly the amount of my Model Y, a little bit more, but as much as I'm getting back with this vehicle, I think it does outweigh it. Because although I do love the Model Y and its very simplistic design on the inside, the R2 has all the different features that I like inside the vehicle, but it still has way more features than a Tesla Model Y or Tesla Model 3 does. And I like the fact that it's a little bit bigger SUV, because the Model Y has been perfect so far for what we've needed, but we also have a gas car in the Ford Flex, which actually makes up the difference when we need that slightly bigger vehicle. And this sits right between the two of those. It has the bigger wheelbase than the Model Y, and it's definitely a little bit longer and a little bit taller. And I do miss having like a full-size SUV. I love the size of my Ford Explorer, just obviously I wanted to go that electric route, hence going with the Model Y. But as in any decision that you make that's this big, there's definitely going to be some cons you have to take into consideration. Like one of the things I actually do like about the Rivian is the fact that it does take advantage of the NCS charging network that you get with Tesla. But it also can do CCS, which is basically everyone else. The only catch there is when I kind of looked at the website earlier to kind of see what the charging network really does look like, there are some actual, what's it called, Rivian adventure-like charging locations in Arizona, and actually along the route we used to take normally to California, whether it was through Gila Bend, Arizona, or even through Quartzsite, Arizona. But a lot of these places have the Tesla charge units, including one about 15 minutes from my house, but it shows not all of them are capable yet. I don't know if that's a software thing or what, but they're not all capable of using those Tesla chargers on the Rivians just yet, at least according to their website through Rivian. So that's one of my cons. So charging might be a little bit difficult, but by the time I get it in 2026, if I do get it, hopefully it'll be expanded by then and it wouldn't be such a con at that point. The other con is I do like my car payments currently because I put quite a bit of money down when I bought my Model Y. However, the value on it, and I think what the trade-in value or when I sell it value is going to be, it's definitely not going to be all there, which I'm okay with to a certain degree. I just hope it's enough where I can keep my monthly payments around the same and hopefully with a way better interest rate, because interest rates weren't that great when I bought the Model Y, but I still got one of the better rates that's available at the time. And we still got to get rid of my wife's Model 3. And we talked about a little in the past, we've been looking for a Mustang Mach-E for her, and we found a great one that had a great price on it, low mileage, but by the time I got to the dealerships, they weren't holding it. They had already sold it, which is probably why they weren't holding it, because they're in the middle of selling it. And I try to avoid politics on this show as much as possible, and I'm not going to talk politics now per se. If you've been watching this channel for a while, I mean, we're called Tommy's Tesla Tech and Travel because I love the idea and concept of what Tesla was, what it stood for, and the innovations by the company. But I never judge a company by leadership. I just don't like the direction that Elon Musk has been taking Tesla and even SpaceX. I guess that's really a long-winded way of saying I just don't see myself as a true blue Tesla supporter going forward. So that does raise some other changes for our channel. You know, probably a name change at some point. And that's only because, you know, if now that one of us are driving Teslas, I can't go with the alliteration anymore of Tommy's Tesla Tech and Travel. So I guess we got to figure out something to do there. But I got until 2026 at this point when the Rivian's released. A lot to think about. And it's time for bed. Thank you for watching my weird diatribe. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. Lots of new stuff's coming your way. I think one of the big directions for the channel now, we're going to focus a lot more on comics and even sports and maybe sports collectibles, as well as tech and hopefully a lot more traveling this coming year. But we won't know until it happens. Everything's still being planned, and well, it's time for bed. It's time for bed for you too. Thanks for taking another ride with us. Let's take another ride again soon. Bye-bye, everybody. I guess signing off from soon-to-be Tommy's former Tesla Tech and Travel. Night, everybody.